And also, what's wrong with boobs? They're part of women's sports. Let them be.
If we've learned anything from the drawings in the skill section of the Code of Points, it's that breasts are prohibited. That is, I mean, that's not written in the Code of Points, but it's implied throughout the Code of Points.
Remember, this show is PG-13, so you might hear a naughty word or two.
Tumble Track is having a Tumble Track tune-up sale. 10% off all the stuff that makes your Tumble Track last and work like the day it was born. Oh, I love a Tumble Track. So check it out on their sale tab on their website. That's Tumble Track, TUMBLTRAK, tumbletrack.com. Train smart. The dumbest rules in gymnastics. Rules your coach told you was a rule, but it's actually not. Code by code, apparatus by apparatus, plus rule Mythbusters. This is the dumbest rules in gymnastics episode, and this is the 24th episode of 2023. It's June 26th, and welcome to the #1 gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. And reminder, commission giveaway, an hour-and-a-half podcast on any topic you want, as long as it's tangentially gymnastics related. And tangential is loose, a loose term as well. So make sure that your club membership is up to date, that you're in good standing, as they say. And if you have any questions, email customerservice@gymcastic.com. It's your last chance to join for the giveaway, which is happening in July. So, Spencer.
Shall we get to it?
Let's start. I'm so excited.
All right. Me too. Because basically the idea behind this episode is I feel like anyone who's been involved in gymnastics in any way for any length of time knows that this is the weirdest sport in the whole wide world and most of the rules are just the dumbest. And we're like, why do you do this? Yeah. Why do we do this? Sure. Can't stop, can't help it. So today we wanted to call out the worst, stupidest, self-defeating, most awkward rules and conventions in gymnastics.
It's now time for Rules Mythbusters, you guys. So get ready to understand that your coach lied to you, or the judges lied to you, or Marta lied to you. Prepare for your whole world to be rocked. Or it could just be that this was true 40 years ago when you competed and now it's not anymore. But let's start with some of the classics, Spencer.
Yeah.
What did Marta Karolyi tell gymnasts was a 0.3 deduction?
What didn't she? I feel like we're not allowed to say that anymore. You're not allowed to say that on podcasts.
What is it?
I don't know. Tell me.
Messy hair. Messy hair.
Oh, well.
0.3 deduction.
See, this is the problem. This is why I always
genius. She's
Marta
so smart.
Tricked me into liking her back in the day because she'd be like, ugh, this horrible hair, 0.3 deduction, even though she's a monster.
Yes.
Because I'm like, yeah, same,
two things
Marta.
can be true at once.
Yeah.
There are gray areas. This is the gray area where we all agree with Marta. Okay, I'm adding this note after. So not only did Marta tell the gymnast this is a rule, but she actually had it added to the judging rules for the US and made the judges take the 0.3 deduction because the FIG judges had criticized the US for having sloppy hair in 2011 and 2012. And when I sent that to Spencer and gave him this update, he responded by saying, AKA Nelly Kim and Marta Karolyi did shots together and Nelly ranked everyone by by their hair. It was real, you guys. She made the judges take the deduction. Oh, I love it so much. Okay. This is a recent one. Shawn Johnson was just on a podcast and she said that, and I feel bad telling Shawn that Chow ever lied to her, but she said that if you don't start after the green light goes on, you have 30 seconds to start your routine. And if you don't, they disqualify you.
Deduction for 30 seconds. 60 seconds is your routine is terminated.
Right. And
you're still not disqualified, but you don't get to do the routine.
Yeah, I just imagine, like, God, did he tell her that, like, the gymnastics police come up and, like, handcuff you and walk you out of the arena if you don't go in the 30 seconds? I'm so
we don't
sad
know
for
if
Sean. The
we don't know if
fear.
this came from Chow. I just assume all of these things often come from coaches when you're little. who
Yeah,
say
it might have
something
come
and
from
remember
Marta
it.
too.
You remember it for your whole life because you're like, oh yeah, that's true. And then you're like, oh no, they just wanted us to shut up. So
Yeah.
they made up some shit.
They wanted us to be terrified to not be able
Yeah.
to compete if we didn't start our routine in 30 seconds, so not dawdle. So they just said you'd be escorted from the building and your credential would be taken away and would put you right on a plane home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're back to the reasons why lining up exists. If you don't line up, you're disqualified. Because, oh my god, we have to get something done today. And you have to stop talking to each other.
This is another one of Marta's rules.
Yeah.
Was the coaches... I didn't know about this one. This is another one that the elite coaches told me. Coaches aren't allowed to wear shorts, ever. And if you wear pants, they have to be black pants, period. No shorts and only black pants. No
I
shorts of
wonder
any color.
why. Where's this coming from? She saw Bella wear shorts once and she was like, oh god, no, never. No one again, ever. Banned.
Maybe it was like Maggie Haney's tights situation. I know, I'm just
We're really
saying.
bringing the mood down now.
I mean, it's true. They did make a new rule because of the tight situations that were happening. I also am like, you had this no shorts rule, but Marta, you couldn't like go off on whoever was supplying these t-shirts and make people wear t-shirts that actually fit them.
That was the style.
No, it
of
was
the
not
time.
the style. No, it was
my
not
God.
the style. No, it was
96 Olympics.
not. No.
That was like the putting
That wasn't
Shannon Miller-
96. That was 2008, Spencer.
Okay, yeah.
How dare you? We also had a gymnast from back then also post a picture of his t-shirt that he got when he was on national team and competing, and it is like the same t-shirt that the
this is
men's
Guillermo
coach-
Alvarez.
Guillermo, yes.
Yeah.
Who I was
with,
like, Guillermo, let's go.
looking like he was wearing his dad's clothes or something. Like a little kid who puts on their parents'
It
clothes.
looks like he's at a sleepover. Exactly. And like all of his clothes got wet in the rain, and so he put on his dad's shirt. Just his little feet are sticking out of the bottom. A full-grown man is wearing this. Like
Yeah.
unacceptable is what I'm saying.
Really
Okay.
unacceptable.
Now, here's a quiz question for you, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a rule in the code that says that there is excessive cheering is not allowed from coaches? Coaches,
Okay.
Not allowed.
Okay.
is there a rule? Is there a rule?
No.
No. Right.
But
There's no
I
rule.
have only very rarely heard a coach stick to cheering when going excessive and not move into actually coaching. Because there's
Here-
a lot of coaches who pretend like they're just cheering, but they're actually definitely coaching.
I agree with
And to me, you shouldn't be able to do either as a coach. Zip it.
Oh my god. First of all, there is no rule against excessive cheering. That does not cheer all you want. The reason that I think that federations tell their coaches to shush it when they're cheering is because they're afraid that they're going to get a coaching deduction even when they're just cheering. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
and they should tell them that.
Why? Okay, so this is the other thing. Why can you coach in every single sport during the actual sport, which is your whole point of being a coach, but you can't coach during a gymnastics routine? Why?
You shouldn't be able to coach during the sport in any sport.
I like
That
that
is
rule,
not-
and I agree.
That is showing that you are not sufficiently prepared. It's like an open book test. What's the point? You're not prepared.
Because life
If
is
you
open
need to be
book, unless
coached-
you're in an emergency situation.
No. Memorization is very important. See this podcast. If you have to be coached in order to succeed, you aren't ready to do what you want to do. And the athletes who can do it without coaching, that is a skill that separates them from the athletes who need coaching during the meet, and they're not sufficiently rewarded for that if you're just coaching. If you're like, and by the way, coaches should not be allowed to clap during bars, because that's just cheating for timing. We see you. We see that timing clap. We know why you're clapping right then, and it's not encouragement. That is coaching, and you shouldn't be allowed to do it. Athletes who don't
tap,
need that,
let go. Yeah.
Clap for tap. Yeah. Athletes who don't need that should be rewarded versus athletes who do need that.
I have always said that if I took my team to a meet and they needed me for everything, I had not done my job.
There you go.
There are things that are going to happen. Like, random things are going to happen. We had one girl broke her toe because, there's injuries happen because wrestling mats. They had to compete on wrestling mats because this is what they had in Washington State high school gymnastics meets. Random weird things happen. They have questions, things that have never come up before. But like, warm up, prepare, do your routine, put your grips on, get your neck stuff on and one of the things that I feel like part of that is like teaching someone how to prepare in life. You drill it beforehand, so when you get to the thing, and this is something you carry on for the rest of your life. And I do agree, you shouldn't be allowed to coach. Especially, I feel like you should have 700 different scenarios in your head, and some people can't do that. And so if your coach yells at you what other scenario to do, then that's where it separates the mentally great. And I know all you sports ball people are going to be like, well, in the sports balls and you have like a defense and all. We're not talking about that. No one cares about that. That's why they're listening to this podcast. Okay. Except for some of the Straights for Spencer's spreadsheets. So, another Mythbuster.
Yeah.
You can't wear tights. It's not true. You can wear tights.
We're not talking about the coaches' tights.
No, not the coaches. We established they had to make new rules. Yeah, you can't wear tights in gymnastics. You absolutely can wear tights. You can wear a leotard that basically is like shorts over or under your leotard. You can wear a singlet. You can wear a full-length bodysuit. That is totally allowed in gymnastics. In USAG and NCAA too. And the NCAA currently, you have to like make up some dumb excuse. Like, oh, it's my religion, or I have some communicable disease on my legs or something dumb. But you can make up whatever you have to get a letter. But yeah, you can wear tights.
My religion says I can't compete on Sundays, or I have to have leggings. Works perfectly.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's a myth. And even when I coached when that was not allowed in the rules, like I would just tell if any judge had a problem with it, I would just be like, oh, it's their religion, which it was in my case of my gymnast. But yeah, it's like no one was going to be a dick and take a deduction for that. Come on. That's just mean. Okay, this is from some judges. I asked, what are the biggest myths that they see still being perpetuated? That you cannot remove your wedgie. You have to leave your butt cheek hanging out for a whole routine. Not true. Pick your wedgie. Pick it. Cover that butt cheek.
But what if that is considered not displaying feminine grace or displaying elegance of presentation?
Then you should put your butt cheek right on top of the head judge's table. That's what you should do with it. Pull it back out, put it there.
Just
ask him
DQ,
to sign it.
Gymnast put butt cheek on judge.
The other one from the Brevet judges, that you have to salute the judges before remounting the beam. That's not a rule. I know some people do that as like a courtesy, like, hey, all right, I'm ready now. Just FYI, here I go. But not a rule.
It makes as much sense as saluting before your routine.
There you go.
If you don't have to salute when you're starting again, why do you have to salute when you're starting?
Yeah. That to your point. That's very good logic there, Spencer. I like that. That you have to smile during a routine.
Who thinks that?
Some coaches still tell the gymnast this. Or you have to smile when you salute. You don't. Be like Protonova.
Any
You ready to
coach
see
who's
the
ever
best repeat ever?
told you have to try to impress the judges or focus on them in any way, disqualified.
Yeah. No, you do not. I mean, don't be a jerk. Like, these are nice people who are essentially volunteering their time.
So
They
you're
don't get
saying
paid
don't
enough.
salute like Horkina? The one arm no look salute? Because that's the one good thing she ever did.
Oh, Protonovas was even better. Because Protonova
It always
did, like,
is.
the one arm and also, like, didn't even turn her head. She just like, her eyes slightly moved towards the judges. But otherwise was like, yeah.
What we really should say is if you're going to salute, you have to do it either like Protonova or like Daria Jura, where it's just so deeply extra that it's wonderful. But if it's not that, I don't want it at all.
Daria Jora's salute was an experience. It was a trip to the theater all in itself. My God, what an artist. She is an artist now. I think she's like a clothing designer or something now. Oh, Daria Jora. Australia. Everyone Google her. Watch her salute. I'm transported. I feel more relaxed just thinking about her salute. Oh, she was so amazing. Okay, another big Mythbuster.
Yeah.
Spencer, you're competing this weekend. You have to take that nail polish off. You're not allowed to wear nail polish.
Since when?
Myth. The other one, you have to wear that you have to wear makeup. That was another thing that I've heard. You don't have to wear makeup? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Nuts. True or false?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a myth that you... True or false?
I feel like we're going to get into double and triple negatives here, and I'm going to get confused syntactically about what we're saying here.
Okay, true or false? You cannot have words in floor music.
Allegedly, that's true.
Right.
In practice,
it is not.
Make sure they're not decipherable in English.
Yeah, you can't have English words. Is basically the rule.
If anyone on the women's technical committee finds out, then you can't have words. But if no one notices, go for it.
So you
can have vocals.
You can have words as long as you get it approved. And in order to get it approved, we may suggest, which really pissed off Amy Borman when we said this on the show, because Uncle Tim deciphered the words in Simone Biles' 2016 floor routine and was like, yeah, this is Yoruba. I think it was Yoruba. And that's the language they're speaking, and this is a language. These aren't vocalizations in her routine. This is actually words, and there's lyrics in her routine. And Amy's like, you guys, why'd you have to say that? No one was opposed to the routine. So then she had to submit to the FIG, and they were like, yeah, of course, like, we're fine with this. So, as long as you get it approved, you can do whatever you want. Basically is what we're saying. And the best way to get it approved is to have it be in a language that's not English. Do you agree or disagree with this rule? No words. Like, in general. Like, if they really enforced it and you're not allowed to have rules. And I want to look at this article.
I agree with it because I do not like lyrics in music, in performance in general. I think they are distracting and often represent the poor taste of the people creating the routine in ways that you might not notice if there weren't words in it. Unless they're going to Scotland and wear a green leotard and no one explains that that's not correct.
This is what college is
Scotland
for.
With the color green.
Yeah. I would like to point out that the use case for the argument against lyrics is the French, and specifically the French figure skating team of, who are these people? They're Marianne, Anna, Sina, and Perizot. They were from the French pair skaters, and they competed at the Salt Lake City bribery Olympic Games. Because there's never been a bribery.
step in to stop any emails from all like gymnastics / figure skating people and just saying, your corrections, Jessica does not care. And is not interested in any way in the corrections on pronunciation or the fact that these were ice dancers and not pair skaters. It's fine.
Thanks. Thank you.
We don't care. And
yeah, I'm also trying to read their names from far away. But the important thing is, you guys, these figure skaters, they did their routine to the I Have a Dream speech. It was, first of all, the sentiment, especially from the French competing in the United States, I love it. And I'm referring to the exodus of Black Americans to France at different periods of times because they could live with more equal rights than they could in the United States, probably still today. But because it was the tackiest thing I have, cringe deeply. If I was in the arena, I would have had to slide down in the seat, uncomfortableness level of cringe. It just felt so wrong. Because it wasn't a performance, it was a competition. If it was just art for art's sake, I would have had a problem. They were competing using Martin Luther King Jr.'s words, and that's what was so cringe. So, and I'm not blaming the country of France, I'm blaming these two. That I'm just referring, because I had to Google this and was like, French, skating, Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech. That is, I feel like this happened, and the FIG was like, double down on the no words. We've got to make sure no one does a whole floor routine just to a speech. Yeah. I mean, there was music in it, but you guys get the cringe level.
If you don't want to bother with the whole joining Club Gym Nerd thing, you can just give us money. Check out the no strings attached donate button at the bottom of the Join the Club page at gymcastic.com/club.
Next up is leotards for rage purposes.
The full force of the rage-o-meter can be expressed.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that gets my rage going more than regulating women's bodies, which is what the FIG Code of Points section on leotards should be called. You guys, just...
If we're being honest.
Okay, so I just want you guys to know, we're not making this up. This is word for
These
word.
Are all things that happened, yeah.
Word for word, reading these rules from the Code of Points, the FIG Code of Points. So, the first one. They must wear... You should read these, actually. So that I can react. And also so I won't say it wrong.
Sounds of reaction.
Yeah, okay.
A. They must wear a correct, sportive, non-transparent leotard or unitard, one-piece leotard with full-length legs hip to ankle, which must be of elegant design.
Correct, sportive, non-transparent. Okay. All right, let me start with...
Are we starting with elegant? It must be of elegant design.
Yes. You can't use words like elegant. That is subjective. The problem with all of the stuff that are in the women's rules, the men don't have rules like this.
No.
The women do. Is there's too many adjectives that are up for interpretation. So that is the major problem.
And came from like a charm school from the 20s. And just like found their way into the Code of Points and no one's ever gotten rid of. Like,
yes!
Yeah.
I mean, wait till we get to the word feminine, you guys. I was like, oh, no, that's from the original code in the 50s. No, it's still in there. I blank it out because I just see red and I'm like, that can't be. So I want to look at this one.
Weirdly, this is a sport and not a cotillion. It's just like news
no
every
one told
day. Brand new
FIG.
Information.
They're like, how are we going to sell watches with our brand ambassadors if we don't put the word elegant in the leotard rules? Longines, shout out to you. Okay, let's take a look at this first leotard because I on a way, I understand that this is what the FIG is trying to present is prevent, not present, they're trying to prevent, what will I call this? It's
we're currently looking at, if you're watching along, a picture of a rhythmic Leo that looks like a parrot flew too close to the sun, and then the sun exploded, and then it also exploded the parrot. Is that fair?
That's fair. That is fair. Also, the sun has claws, and the claws of the sun are metal pieces of metals reaching across the chest of this leotard. So they're trying to prevent basically a nude suit that just covers your bits. So that's the whole point of the sport, apparently, in rhythmic, because every rhythmic leotard looks like this. But I see what they're trying to say in here, and I agree, because I find rhythmic leotards so deeply, deeply ugly, with very few exceptions, because of the just nude suit covering the bits aspect of it. Like, they're trying to be ballroom dance, but you can't, because so I think they're also trying to prevent, like, if anyone's seen the mockumentary Blades of Glory, which starts with a figure skating accidental, very serious accident, all the outfits in there of what they're trying to prevent with the word elegant, I think, and the whole non-transparent bit about. But I feel like this you have to be specific. Like, just say it has to be sportive. Is that supposed to say supportive, but it's sportive?
No, I think it's supposed to emphasize that it's supposed to be an athletic uniform, and we're not there.
But that's the problem. We're so not
that
athletic.
A couple decades ago.
Yeah, so I understand what they're trying to prevent, but I would like non-cotillion-based language, non-etiquette school. Mm-hmm. If you could use any words from the, like, original colleges for women in the United States, and they were in their etiquette or, how to purport yourself, walk with a book on your head portion of the college handbook, then we don't want it in here. Okay. So the next part that we have to get to is the section I like to call breast regulations.
Part B. The neckline of the front and back of the leotard / unitard must be proper. It must be proper. That is, no further than half of the sternum, and no further than the lower line of the shoulder blades. Leotards / unitards may be with or without sleeves. Shoulder strap width must be minimum 2 centimeters.
It's the no spaghetti strap and the boob rule on here. It's the décolletage section of the code. And again, if you have to read it in a British accent, then this is how you know the rules are wrong.
That was just an affected. That was just a proper.
But it was correct. So the word proper, again, subjective. What is proper to one person, not proper necessarily to another. And also, you can't, this is for the whole world. So what is proper in one country is totally offensive in another country. This is the other problem with that. You can't use subjective words like this. If you want to put a rule in there, like you can't go below, they're trying to prevent, again, the rhythmic gymnastics. The leotard is nudie to the, belly button, and then starts again from the belly button down to be nudie.
If it starts from the belly button down to be nudie, I think that's banned in every sport. But
then you take the artistic attack sun, and then it goes, it wraps around the crotch, basically. So
if you have sun spikes over the important parts, then it's fine.
Yeah. So this is the problem I feel like with this is a lot of countries, it's like, here's the leotard for the team. Well, if one person has boobs and the rest are not there with boobs, then the décolletage part, the centimeter part, is totally subjective. Like, you're going to have way more décolletage at half the sternum with gymnasts wearing the same leotard but totally different bodies. And I feel like they're trying to prevent this. But, the minute a gymnast competes with the leotard at exactly the right point at half your sternum, but has boobs, they're going to change the rule. to be like, we cannot see because they're basically trying to say they don't want to see the separation between your boobs. They want it to stop where boobs start. But that doesn't work if you have boobs and the leotard goes halfway down your sternum. So again, and also, what's wrong with boobs? They're part of women's sports. Let them be.
If we've learned anything from the drawings in the skill section of the Code of Points, it's that breasts are prohibited. That's not written in the Code of Points, but it's implied throughout the Code of Points.
Right. Like, maybe put something like, please wear supportive, protect your boobs like you do other ligaments in your body. That could be something, just like a suggestion. Anyway, proper. Can't use words like proper. They don't make sense. And also, don't offend the French with your décolletage, anti-décolletage rhetoric. That's what I have to say about that. All right, the next rule, I don't have a problem with this.
All right.
I agree with it.
So the next rule was what I was going to say is the leg cut of the leotard may not extend beyond the hip bone maximum. The leotard leg length cannot exceed the horizontal line around the leg, delineated by no more than 2 centimeters below the base of the buttocks.
Which also, I guess, because you can wear shorts and tights, so I'm like, I guess if it's a leotard, not a shorts or a, but I'm fine with it shouldn't go higher than your hip bone. Because we do see a lot of that in college gymnastics, and I'm like, just buy them leotards that fit. My God, have very many sizes and just buy people leotards that fit. I'm okay with this because again, they're trying to prevent the rhythmic gymnastics nude look. Essentially, that's how I see this. So I'm fine with it. Do you have a problem with this?
No.
They're just like, don't.
Well, the problem with it is like, the men's code doesn't reference any measurements or any buttocks.
Right.
There
exactly.
are no buttock standards.
They are going to have a rule in there now that your pants can't fall down while you're competing, because we've seen that happen way too many times.
I mean, the men's code is basically just like, try to wear undies? Remember?
I wish they'd say at least that. There should
Remember to pack clothes for when you travel to the meet?
There should be a team deduction of if your pants fall down when you land. I mean, you land. Sometimes there's just so much force, your pants fall down. But if you're in the middle of your routine and your pants fall down, maybe there should be deduction. But yeah, that is the problem. This is just, comparing it to the men. The problem is the men's hip bones aren't regulated. I think there used to be a rule that your bandages, so basically tape, has to be skin colored, but they added, which I very much appreciate, because it just doesn't come in every color, and also you can't get it in every color, and still, even though there's so many varieties now of the spectrum of skin colors you can get, it's not available everywhere, and it's still not available in every single color, but it does now say when available from the manufacturer. This is a really important caveat. Like, if they don't have any other colors, then you're going to have to wear white tape. What are you going to do? Right? I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't really have it. I do have a problem with just like, it's a sport. What's wrong with wearing tape?
Yeah. I don't think there should be a rule about the color at all.
Yeah. It should not detract from the aesthetics of performance. And when I read that, I get taken right back to high school when I got suspended for my haircut. Did the boys get suspended for the same haircut? Nope. Only the girls did. Again, there's just too much regulating of women's. And it's going to be like, well, boobs are a distraction. Your tape is a distraction. Your hip is a distraction. And that's where it is. Let's stop with the regulating. Also, why can't you accessorize? If you have a blue leotard, why can't you wear blue tape? That's what I'd like to know. All right, something
that is a suggestion for NCAA, because that seems right down NCAA's avenue.
It does. A rule that does not exist also in the men's code of points. There's no section on this. You cannot.
They must refrain from wearing jewelry, bracelets, or necklaces, except small stud type pierced earrings.
And this, I'm just like, wear whatever you want. Like, if you want to choke yourself mid-routine with a big-ass necklace or it's going to hit you in the
Your
face,
prerogative.
go ahead. If you want to get your if you want to wear hoop earrings and get them ripped out of your ear, that's on you. Bleed all over the place. That's your prerogative. Like, you'll learn your lesson when you have to go have your earlobes sewed back together. I don't care. And also, if it's not in the men's code, it shouldn't exist in the women's code, period. End of story. That's my other rule. I feel like
no rules about uneven bars or balance beam at all then.
Right. No rules. We're done.
No rules on
they don't
those
need any rules.
apparatuses because they don't exist in the men's code.
Yeah.
All right. Should we talk about one of the newest rules?
Yes.
Face painting is not allowed. Any makeup must be modest and not portray a theatrical character, animal, or human.
Where could they?
So you know, you cannot portray a human is one of my favorite rules about gymnastics. Like, you are prohibited from portraying a human.
This is the beloved Celine Van Gurner rule, which my favorite thing about this new women's technical committee is they did say, we love this and we love what she did and we see what she's trying to do, but we just don't want everybody to go this direction. Another genius move by the Netherlands, because this made it into Glamour magazine. That's how genius this was. Oh, you want to put your gymnastics team on the map? So next step is for the men to do this. So you can get someone to pay attention to you guys over there and all the amazing gymnastics that you do. So, yeah, I think we
this
basically...
is the Selena Van Herner cat look with the cat's routine. Wearing some theatrical cat makeup, I would contend not that much different or more preposterous than some other makeup looks that aren't thematic. But, you know.
I mean, honestly, the contouring is less than we see on many or people that just...
Many college gymnastics teams.
Yeah, or people that just go to the store, honestly. Yeah, and also the eye makeup. I feel like the only theatrical part is... I mean, she doesn't even have whiskers drawn on. She's supposed to be a cat.
I know. I think
really...
it's kind of subtle, honestly.
Yeah, I mean... but that is my favorite rule because it's the Celine Van Gurner rule, and they should really name these rules after people. I mean, if you're going to be an eponymous skill, have an eponymous. Yeah. Please don't do that.
An eponymous prohibition.
Yes,
that's the true feather in your cap.
Yes, it is.
They had to make a rule against you.
So, in conclusion, words like proper, feminine,
elegant, modest. We have modest in the makeup. Makeup must be modest, so every gymnast is disqualified.
Right. Oh, everyone. Yeah, and words that
if you actually followed these, if you actually followed the leotard rules, every gymnast would be disqualified.
Yes. Yeah, honestly. Also, I want to make sure people know, like, we are recording this in 2023. So, you know, someday, hopefully, this nonsense won't be in here, or it'll be worse. You never know. This is because some people, I think, are stuck. Like, I know what happened to me is, like, your coach tells you something growing up, and then you just have it in your mind, and you're like, that's real. And then things change, but you still have it stuck in your mind because you're, like, afraid to be kicked out of the meet because you wore eyeliner or something. You know, none of my coaches ever said that. No one could get me to wear makeup. Are you kidding me? I never wore makeup to a gymnastics meet in my life.
The only thing that can make Jessica wear makeup is a podcast.
That's right. That's it. Literally. All right. So, Spencer, what is one of your biggest pet peeves about gymnastics in general?
Overall, something that has really been sticking in my craw lately is gymnastics still thinking it's the military for some reason. There is a lot of, why are we acting like the judge is the general and the gymnasts are the troops in competitions in a way that has been particularly making me uncomfortable lately. Item 1, the lining up in front of the judges before starting your warm-up. Why do they need to give the troops a once-over before they can do their routines. This was I was noticing this in particular watching the Asian Championships and seeing Peggy Liddick judging floor and like standing in front of the gymnast for like 5 minutes looking at them like she was, you know, deciding which one to put in the stew. And it was like, this is nothing. We don't need this. This is nothing. This is serving no administrative purpose. Like if you wanted to like have them line up with their backs to you so you could see the bib numbers and be like, oh, 104 is here and then we'll have 105, like some sort of administrative purpose, and not just standing there like making them line up like the Von Trapp children and standing there looking at them. I mean, at least the Von Trapp children introduced themselves. That would be something if you went up and were like, Brigida, I'm bib number 104, I suck at bars. You'd be like, okay, thank you, I've gotten some information from this. But no, they're just standing there getting stared at. It's bizarre.
I always thought the purpose was... So judges tell us this, but I know the origins are literally from the military. So not the origins of gymnastics. Like obviously gymnastics has been around forever. Africa, Asia, ancient sport. But the way...
Gymnastics has been around since before people, because you do a flip, and that's... that's gymnastics.
But
animals invented gymnastics.
Yes. But the origins of what it is as a competitive sport and what the FIG comes from is military gymnastics used for the military and for soldiers training. That is what it comes from. That's what the vaulting table comes from, literally from a horse. So all of that, because that's what they use before tanks, horses, just so you know, in invasions. So
maybe that's the next evolution of gymnastics. Pommel tank.
So I see where it comes from that, and I can see some people, especially how people feel about boys, that boys are like wrangling cats and you have to like control them and like, you know, put your thumb on them early. Like some parents sign their kids up for, you know, these kind of gyms specifically because they really want to put them in military academies, but people frown on that nowadays and generally as a parenting tactic. So, but I always thought the purpose was that the judges in back, but there aren't always judges in back. You were supposed to verify who's there, or that everyone has the same speed at which to get to the apparatus from the lineup. You're already standing.
Well, that should be signaling the start of the warm-up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then you warm up.
Yeah. I
mean, there is a lot of like, make sure the littles are doing what they're supposed to do, and a lot of the best way to do that is to get them to line up. But I think that's another thing where we get to a lot of the dumbest rules in gymnastics, which is things that you need for 5-year-olds to keep them on task that you're still making 18-year-olds do.
Yeah.
And it gets weird.
Yes.
And I think that's definitely in that category, the lining up. They don't have them line up in college. Why?
Yeah, that's true. I feel like they used to.
Because you don't need to,
because adults don't need to line up.
Yeah. That's one of those things I would be fine. Like when you turn senior, you no longer have to line up in front of the judges. Like we got it.
Yeah.
We don't need to make sure you're on task or look to see like whether you're fulfilling the leotard rules, which if you notice it, then deduct. You don't need to like stare at everybody.
So you think that there's a time when judges look at everybody lined up and then they say, like, hey, your emblem, you forgot to sew your flag or your national emblem on your leotard.
I mean, they should just take the deduction. I mean, as a courtesy, a lot of times you'll see, like, in podium training, a judge might be like, if she wears those earrings in the competition, she's going to get a deduction. But that's actually not the judge's job. The judge is just, their job's to take the deduction, not tell anyone they might get a deduction, take it later.
But also, like, because it's a stupid rule, so you don't want to get
right, and they don't want to. It's a nice thing.
Stupid.
It's a nice thing to do. It's not necessary,
right?
Or their responsibility. Like that's the coach and the gymnast's responsibility.
Yeah. What is the other biggest pet peeve you have?
Okay, we need to get into saluting. Talk about associations with the military. Like,
yes,
we're calling it saluting first of all, which is judge as general, gymnast as soldier. I've gone through an evolution about saluting in that At this point, I just think it's fully stupid as a concept and unnecessary. Like, I used to say, well, you do need to signal that you're starting your routine and ending your routine. But I'm like, no, you don't. Starting your routine is the signal that you're starting your routine. Like, the judge will say, you can begin, because they need to be, the score from the previous gymnast needs to be done. They need to have their sheets ready. Fine. The judge says you can begin. Then you should begin. That's the signal that we're ready to begin. Like, go. Just do it. Because imagine that interaction verbally. A judge goes, you start now. And then the gymnast waits a second and says, I'm going to start now. The judge is like, yeah, I just said that. I said you should start. So go start. You don't have to announce, I just said that. And that's kind of what the salute to begin the routine is to me. Like, the judge says you could go. All right, within the next 30 seconds, go. Start.
So I think, like, you are right. This is a total military thing, again, because the saluting and the standing in the line and all of that stuff, the military origins of this was created as a men's sport for men for the military, right? But I do think you have to think about the time before lights, before there was a green light to tell you to go. And
before
when we're not.
Fire? Before humans had invented fire?
It's just like a way of being like, are we all ready? We're all ready? Okay, let's go. But also, you have 30 seconds after the
That's
salute.
what the judge signaling them is. That's the signal to say, we're all ready. We're all ready for you to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all ready. Go.
So the judges should signal, and the gymnast doesn't have to do anything except go.
Right. The judges,
All right.
which they do signal. All right.
Right, the judges do signal.
All right, it's time for you to go.
The other thing this reminds
Whether
me
it's
of...
a light in Elite, or it's a flag, or a hand. Usually it's just a hand up, or like, and then they make sure the gymnast can see them. And they're like, yes, you're looking at me. Yes, you can go. Okay, start.
Or you're like me when I was a kid before because I refused to wear my glasses. Sometimes I would just salute and vault and land, and the judges were like, we never told you. No one raised their hand, but I couldn't see far enough. So I just guessed at random things that I thought were hands going up. So, so I feel like
That's symptomatic of some other issues.
It is. But I think about the places where, I can't remember which country this is. But there's a country where, so say you have, like, in Congress, they'll have hearings and experts come in to testify. And the way it is in the United States is Congress literally sits above everyone else, and the experts testify below them, up towards them. And in some countries, it's reversed.
I have to explain to them what an iPhone is? Yeah, I know. It works really well.
So in other countries, it's reverse. The legislators sit below the expert because they are the expert. So they sit above, above everyone else and talk down to explain to the non-experts. And there is some part of the gymnast saluting that feels like the gymnasts are like the presenting and all of that stuff that feels like the judges are in control. And there is more respect given to them, which a lot of them earned their spots with an incredibly difficult test and memorizing all the stuff. And a lot of them are world champions, and that's how they got to this point. Because in a lot of countries, you have to be an elite to even be a judge. But the gymnasts are the ones risking their lives, literally. So, yeah, maybe they don't need as much deference. But there is so much like politeness and bowing. It's like a bow.
Yeah.
And some gymnasts do bow. That's a whole thing. What if there was bowing, like we all went Japanese instead of saluting?
I think it should be, then it should need to be a mutual bowing.
Oh, yeah. A double bow.
Because also the dismount at the end is maybe I have more of an issue with, or the salute at the end. I think I have more of an issue with than the salute at the beginning. Because the dismount is the signal of the end of your routine, not the salute. Because if we've learned anything from college gymnastics, is that you can definitely salute while still taking steps on your dismount that need to be deductions.
Yes. It's true.
So just like finish of your routine. The only problem with that I can foresee getting rid of the end salute is like men's floor, because you're kind of not really sure when it ends. But that's a problem with like not having an ending pose. And I do think, adjustments to men's floor need to include, you have to have an ending pose at least.
They need to add that to men's. Men's, bring the art back. But the ending pose, the ending salute, though, I kind of want to push back on this because I do think because the deductions are incurred from steps on your landing, you need to say when you're finally done stepping, because sometimes the steps go on for a long time. There's a full run off the mat into another place before you salute, and you've gotten control. So
what I'm saying is, it's not up to the gymnast to say when they're done stepping, because they will continue. They'll be like salute, and it's like,
and they're still running sideways.
Yeah, like the judges decide when you've shown control of that landing, not like because the gymnast is going to salute and be like, "I'm done."
I like that.
That magical Anna Lee NCAA event final, Yurchenko 1.5, where she landed it, saluted while tiptoeing past the judges and off the mat because she never showed control because it was the event back when we had NCAA event finals. It was just like, yeah, I'm going to throw Yurchenko 1.5. We'll see what happens.
Like everybody did because it was so fun. They should have just had them do it into a resi pit. Just get rid of the mats completely and just let people land on their butts. All right.
That would be like if NCAA Gymnastics had a Sunday gala or something, where like do your end of seniors, end of your career, do all the skills you always wanted to do into pits.
Like when we got Alex Murtry doing a Yurchenko triple full and it was perfect and beautiful and amazing, and she did it into the pit and was like, okay, I retire.
Club Gym Nerd, you get discounts and first dibs on live show tickets, an extra whole podcast every week, athlete dossiers for major competitions, code guides, options to commission your own segments. It also makes a great gift. Check it out at gymcastic.com at the Join the Club tab.
I want to go apparatus by apparatus.
Yeah.
And I got a lot.
Our apparatus World Cup of dumb.
Apparatus World Cup of stupidity. Here we go.
We're going from Doha to Cairo to Baku to Cottbus. Our World Cup series of stupidity.
I got a lot of feedback from judges and coaches for this section.
Good. Okay. So starting out, we're going to start on vault. I think this is for, single dumbest rule on each apparatus. Like the one thing that we view as the dumbest, which is actually kind of a challenge for me, not because I couldn't think of things, shockingly, that I have problems with and find dumb, but it's interesting to try to differentiate between like personal pet peeves or things I wouldn't do versus things that actually make no sense. So I'm trying to go for the things that actually just make no sense. And my prime one on vault is the idea that you get a 0 on vault for touching the springboard or the vault, because the rule is, I'm going to go into it. So
go into it.
You can run past, and in most levels of gymnastics, you get a free run pass and can start again. In elite now, that's a 1-point deduction for running past the entire apparatus. You can still run again, but if you touch the springboard or the vault, it's a 0, as we learned in the 2007 World Team Final at Katerina Kramarenko. 0 for Russia. Ask your parents, because that was 16 years ago. A seminal moment in gymnastics for a lot of us, as Russia had to count a 0 in the World Team Final.
We watched her whole team not murder her when she walked down off the podium. Somehow. It probably happened after.
I feel like this is a rule in bad faith, because that is obviously an attempt for the gymnast not to vault. No one thinks that was an attempt at vaulting. They're trying to stop themselves from vaulting, just like running past. And it should be evaluated the same way. And it should be treated the same way. It shouldn't be considered a vault to be evaluated with a score, even 0, unless you go over the apparatus. And then if you go over the apparatus and land, elbow first or whatever, 0, fine. But if you're intentionally trying to stop yourself from vaulting, then that should be treated just like running past. There's nothing magical about like touching the springboard.
I agree with you because I think, I agree and disagree. So on the one hand, I feel like when when you have it in your mind that you have to bail earlier or balk earlier, there's less opportunity for, one, bad optics, which I think is the real reason for this rule, is bad optics. It looks bad when someone just runs over the top of the vault or slides over the top or round off, stops themselves and does a crazy backward straddle slide over the vault, although hilarious for us. It's also less dangerous when you stop earlier, obviously, than stopping at the very last second. I mean, there's so many blooper reels of men's vault back in the day when they had the vault horse and it was turned sideways and people tried to remove their ribs accidentally via stopping on the board and smashing into the vault. So the point of me saying this is, I think it's just an optics rule, which is lame. But on the other hand, I think we have seen way less scary accidental half vault balks since this rule has come into play. In Elite, I mean, you're going to see it forever in the lower levels.
I think we've seen fewer since the table as opposed to the horse. But I would say lately we have been seeing a lot of people going because they have to.
Like
even
Jade
though
Terry
they're off. Yeah.
tripping at the Olympic final?
Right. I think that I think allowing people to stop and not feel like if something goes wrong late, and there's like no way you're not touching that springboard, what do you do?
That could be. Well, we're going to need the gymnast to weigh in on this.
Yeah, I think, and what you're saying is good. Like there is, stop as early, if things are off, if your steps are off,
right.
Stop as early
Stopping
as possible.
earlier is better.
Yeah. Right, yeah, but then you want to allow for, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't stop earlier, though.
I think my biggest pet peeve with vault, and this is also one of the things that talking to a bunch of coaches for this episode, the elite coaches, they also said not being able to change the height of the vault table in elite is really ridiculous. It's one thing not being able to change the springs is already a problem. Used to be able to change out the springs so you could make it, if someone only weighs 60 pounds, then you can take out some springs so the springboard isn't so hard. But in talking to Steve Butcher back in the day when they changed those rules in our original episode, when Steve Butcher was still the men's technical committee head, we have an interview with him that I'll link in the show notes. He talked about how people are always stealing the springs. So one of the solutions to that was you just can't take the springs out. But I'm like, well, then make them gold plated or put a low jack on them, put an air tag, do something. And also just have someone donate a bunch of springs. If so many people at a world championships or a World Cup need springs, just give them springs. It's the least expensive thing of the whole putting on a competition like this. Just put out springs. They're a different color or something, and everyone can take those home with them. And then paint the ones that are, just for competition. Because you need a different level of springiness depending on your power and also your weight. I remember Lisa Mason talking about how at 5'6" or 5'7", which is kind of average height, she could not change. The vault was so low that it was hard for her to vault on that. And she's not the only one that's that height that is a top level elite. So I really think that the not being able to change the vault is ridiculous. If it's supposed to be for everybody and everyone in the whole entire world, adults are going to come in different heights. And so we need to be able to adjust for that. And it takes 2 seconds. There's no excuse that it takes too long. Don't even give me that.
You were ready. You were ready for that. But yeah, if you could change the bars,
Right. Except you can't.
Right, is this yours for bars? Are we moving into bars?
Yeah, this is another
Spoiler
thing.
alert.
Talking about bars, this is a big thing from every elite coach that I talked to about this was the FIG settings. You cannot have the rules be you have to be 16, so you're an adult woman, but you have children's bar settings. It's not right. You cannot have, and we're not talking about the height of the high bar. So if your feet touch when you're hanging on the high bar, if you pull the bar down and your feet touch, you can raise the high bar, right? That's a thing. And you can raise it all the way as high as the women's high bar goes now. But it's the distance between the bars. This is the problem. Those FIG settings. You used to be able to change them. And it literally takes 20 seconds, 10 seconds you can do it with enough people to change the bar settings. There's no reason. It doesn't take too long to set them. And you can't have a 4'8" person and a 5'8" person both having to do a shaposh, trying to fit a shaposh between those bars. It's too close for the tall and it's way too hard for the tiny. So there should be an allowance for setting the bars. They were made that way for a reason to adjust. Why not make this sport more able to accommodate for every body type and height? Thank you, Spencer.
I don't have any.
God.
But I will say my favorite / least favorite, worst, dumbest rule on bars is partially the rule, because it makes no sense, and partially the way it is written in the Code of Points, which is hysterical. So I'm just going to read aloud.
Okay.
Other undisciplined or abusive behavior, including gymnast runs under the low bar to perform mount, minus 0.3. It's so undisciplined and abusive.
My God.
I can't possibly imagine anything worse. It's that is the most FIG thing in the entire world, that the language for abusive behavior that must be eradicated in gymnastics is running under the low bar to perform your mount on uneven bars.
How
Which also,
dare?
why not? Why not?
How dare
Okay,
you want to
go under the low
start
bar.
your routine from in between the bars facing out, not towards the low bar? How dare you? The bars were not designed to use the inside of the high bar. Everybody knows
No,
that.
of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
That's so rude.
such a
You might as well just take a
weird-
shit on the right in between the bars. That's how abusive. It's disgusting. You should
despicable,
lose your
yeah.
FIG license for that kind of
Really,
behavior.
yeah.
Mounting in
Yeah.
between the bars. Oh, gross.
It's saluting and then walking under the low bar to start. That's what's prohibited. Which I know. We're
Don't even talk about
I
it.
just saw it and vomited because it's so obviously ugly. But yeah, so that's a real winner of a rule. That also, why did you write it this way? That's your other undisciplined and abusive behavior.
Does it count if you're so short you don't have to duck to walk underneath the low bar?
Yes.
You can just
That's
walk
also
directly under it.
vomitously inappropriate.
You might as well wear a sheer hiked up leotard that goes all the way to your armpits. Oh,
With an exploding parrot on the
disgusting.
front.
With
Like,
floating parrot
and
and
cleavage.
tiger up.
My God.
We need to, at the end of this, we need to add up what you'd have to do to violate every single rule. Unfeminine, not fit, not elegant, unsportive, and walking under the low bar. We're going to have
And then
to
we
add
need to find a gymnast to do all of them
We'll do it, yes, all at once.
in a competition.
Bart.
Yeah.
Bartolo's back. I liked Bart.
He's like,
All right,
inelegant design, I'm in. Okay.
Beam is perfect. I don't know what you're going to complain about Beam.
So with Beam, I think the rules are not as bad as they are on other events. I have a lot of pet peeves. But I will say, in a general sort of Beam thing, I have an issue in the sense-making department with the idea that continuing to move your arms is a standard for continuing the connection.
No.
We always hear that, like, okay, you did it. Oh, well, she continued to move her arms, so that's going to get credit as a connection. That's nothing.
That's booty.
Like
yeah, I agree.
The legs are the thing. Like, a connection on Beam I have a lot of issues with, like, non-rebounding connections and eating a meal between them, but it should, like, the idea is that you'd use the elasticity of the apparatus to rebound into the next element, right? So most of the time,
that's of your own muscles, yes, and that, yeah.
There's a little give.
There's a little give, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you're using, that would be, a back handspring layout step out series, but could also be, like, punch front to split jump. You're down and you're rebounding. Like, you see a rebounding motion from the legs. Like, kick over front, stop, but do, like, choo-choo train hands into a back handspring is not a connection. And I think that just actively makes no sense that that's even a standard that you're looking at in evaluating a connection. Because who cares if your arms are moving?
I remember reading a really great editorial from Dwight Normiel, who used to be an international gymnast and retired long ago. And his columns were so good. He went off on this connection issue and predicted how bad it would be to this day. And it is, like, it needs to be, you can tell when someone's just slowly squatting to jump instead of actually being a connection. And this needs to be changed. I mean, I do agree with you. I would also like them to see them add the extra mat to the side of the podium so that we can have more off the side of the beam Danusia dismounts.
But I thought they were so interested in safety, because so Simone's dismount on beam had to be a lower rating because of safety.
Right, but then don't add a mat.
How can you say that they're not adding a mat?
Right. Creativity.
All they care about is safety.
They love it. They love it as much as proper. All right, floor. Also
we're
perfect.
ready to go to floor? All right. Yeah. No, floor is not perfect. Floor is the opposite of perfect. But my dumbest thing in the women's code on floor is a single skill not being able to count as an acro line, so it can't fulfill, for instance, the front tumbling requirement. So, run, punch, double front, land. All your other tumbling passes and acro skills are backward tumbling. You don't fulfill the front tumbling composition requirement, even though you've performed a double front in your routine. That could happen. And that's wild. That's insane. That just makes no sense. That is the dumbest of all the dumbest things that could be in the code of points. Not getting credit for a front tumbling element when you have a double front in your routine is a possible situation.
So front tumbling, not a pass, a connected pass, but just it doesn't.
Well, that's what it says.
Skill.
I mean, it says, like, there is a connection, there's a composition requirement. You have to go backward, you have to go forward or sideward. Which I'm fine with as a requirement, show a variety of different, things. But you could do a, run, punch, double front and not get the forward.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, we need to downgrade wolf turns to an A.
Well.
So no one does them. Ever.
All right, yeah.
Banned skills. Like, remember how bad and hideous the double tuck jump era was? There were so few that were pretty.
Yeah,
no one
and now I kind of miss them.
Yeah, I'm like,
they were so
bad.
Back.
Bring them all back.
Oh, yeah, the double tuck jump, the cat leap era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, the cat leap era. Okay. I do want to remind everybody that we are giving away a full commissioned episode. So there are group commissions available. You guys can pitch in with some other people to get us to talk about anything you want. Like, what's the one that's leading the pack right now? The Keanu Reeves gymnastics movie. Oh, I bet you didn't know that existed. It does. Flying. Teenage Dream with Keanu Reeves. But it got another donation this week, you guys. So group commissions are going off. But to thank you guys, because you guys are the way that we get ourselves to competitions and continue this coverage all year long, not just when the Olympics happen. We're not a 4-year or just covering Americans podcast here. We cover everybody all year long. Every week of the year, 2 podcasts a week. And to thank you, we have our behind the scenes every Friday. And we also have our giveaway. If you're a Club Gym Nerd member, so make sure you can log in, make sure your account is all up to date. You will be randomly selected for this commission that you can't buy, but we're giving one away. So just make sure, remember, and we'll have a random drawing. So think of your ideas for what you want to commission us to talk about. Now, Spencer.
Yeah.
Dumbest rules Elite Code of Points edition. Have you prepared your whole life for this?
I have prepared my whole life for this. Okay. Feel free to interrupt me if you have, conditions, your own dumbest rules. But otherwise, I'm gonna go. Item 1. You can't get a skill named after yourself unless it's C or higher.
Boo.
Boo. Creativity does not have to be difficult or complex to be worthwhile. And this actively discourages the addition of small moments of personal flair or inventiveness. Like, if you could get things named after yourself even though they were A's, people would do it all the time, which is great, because then you get to say, like, I got a skill named after myself in the Code of Points, and you get people doing weird things. Add some weirds. Go for it.
Remember the guy,
Great.
this makes me think of the guy who, I can't remember who it was right now, but basically has submitted a backwards dive rollout with it. So basically you run, it's a gainer back dive. So you run forward, you jump backwards like you're going to do a back handspring, but when you land, you just roll forward on your neck and back. It's so cool looking. And they were like, nah, we're not going to take that. It's so cool when you love to see something that creative, especially in a men's gymnastics routine. Like, occasionally we get a butterfly. Oh, a butterfly's so cool. More of that. Yeah, I agree.
Up next, the women's code not differentiating the location of the twist. AKA why no one gets the Pike Delchev named after themselves, which always comes up anytime someone does a Pike Delchev and people are like, oh, she can get it named after herself. But no one can, even though plenty of people have done it, because the code considers the Delchev and the Ginger the same skill number, because they're both a swing forward, a half twist, and a salto happening before you grab the bar, even though they're at different times. So yeah, you can't get the Pike Ginger named after yourself or you can't get the Pike Delchev named after yourself because there's already a Pike Ginger, or that a full in and a full out are the same skill.
Yeah. That's complete crap.
Next.
I also agree with this. I'm ready.
Floor expression. Quote, in addition to the technical execution, artistic harmony and feminine grace must also be considered.
You guys, that's really in the code.
That's really written.
Right now.
Feminine
in
grace.
The year 2023, feminine grace is in the sports code for an actual sport that is allowed in the Olympic Games, you guys.
Yeah.
What feminine grace? Totally subjective,
and
not
just
in
subjective,
general,
but not necessarily desired.
Right. And also, why is that something that you need in a sport, even an artistic sport?
They want people they want to encourage artistry. They want more characters. We hear all the time, like, oh, well, we need more artistry. We need more artistry. We need more artistry. Well, apparently not, because you still have feminine grace in the code, which deeply limits the amount of, even though it's not linked to a deduction, it's still written there, which, limits the amount. You don't seem like you actually want artistry if you're still putting feminine grace in there. Next.
Masculine grace should be added to the men's code. Just to get them to do something.
No.
Anything
I don't
artistic.
want that, but like that, why masculine grace? That's the same issue. Why not feminine grace in the men's code?
I'm just trying to get them to try anything. I totally agree with you. It's completely wrong. But at this point, it should just say, like, have some pride in artistry, even though you don't need to. So do extra things just because you want to stand out, even though it might cause you an extra deduction because of caring about artistry.
Next, double tuck and double pike being the same value on floor.
Egregious.
Why? Tuck and pike are not the same value in almost every context.
And a double pike is harder for a lot of people. Who is it?
The progression is always tuck to pike to layout in difficulty everywhere.
Yeah.
Why are double tuck and double pike the same?
Yeah, it's harder. And it's not just like, oh, for me personally, it's easier to do a layout or a pike or a tuck, whatever. Biomechanically, the shorter your body length is from your center of mass, from your what's it called? The place you rotate
Center
around.
of gravity?
Your center of gravity, that's a big word for that. Your fulcrum, thank you. The easier it is, the faster you go. This is why. Just use biomechanics when all else fails. Use science. It's almost like, wait till we get to the next section, speaking of science.
Next, no elements while walking onto the floor. You're telling me you can't do a turn walking onto the floor? You can't differentiate between that and the start of the routine? You might deduct for a turn before the music starts? Yeah, that sounds realistic. Next, unofficial capping of bars transitions at E, which is not a rule, not an actual rule in the Code of Points, but it is in practice. Bars transitions never rated higher than E. Why can the same bar release go higher than E, but not a bars transition? Why is the sights the same value as Shap halves?
Yeah, ridiculous. Yep. A listener wrote in about that too.
They better have.
Yeah, because how are we going to get a double hardwash? It needs to be an H.
Yeah.
My dream.
It needs to be a Q.
Yes.
Hand down on a wolf turn on floor, not being a fall deduction.
Yeah, booty.
Why? Yeah. That's a fall. You fell. Mm-hmm. You had to support yourself against the ground because you lost balance. That's what a fall is.
I have it. This is how we get rid of wolf turns. You do basically, to get credit, you have to hold the wolf position with your foot off the ground for 3 seconds after the turn. No one will ever do it again. Done. That's it.
Done. You got rid of them.
You guys, I fixed it. This is what we're here for, solutions.
Our justice for 1988, 0.3 off for unauthorized remaining on the podium / remounting the podium. Why? Don't need it. One
that I have to add for this is, and this also came from coaches that I talked to, not being able to inquire the E-score. You should be able to inquire an E-score. I mean, if we're going with this, like, it's not actually subjective, we're going by angles and math and, again, science. Math is science, right? Okay, it's math. But anyway, angles. The geometry of the gymnastics is the E-score. So why can't you inquire that? That can be the difference.
It usually is.
Right. I wonder why there would just be way too many inquiries if that you were allowed to inquire.
And what I think is the judges' deductions, while they often end up being around the same area, are often really different, and reconciling all of these deductions to come up with, like, we're taking that and we're not taking that would take hours.
That could totally be. So I want to talk about this next section, which credit to Psych Caesar, men's brevet coach and judge. Brevet coach? He is a brevet who is a coach. Yeah. So did you know you can wear long pants on every apparatus?
I did know that. Because I specifically read the men's clothing rules when we were talking about the women's clothing rules, just to compare them.
And there's only like one. And it's not even a rule. It's an extra. Here, bonus, wear pants. It's not even, they're not taken away like for the women. Put more on. Oh, they're like, yeah, you don't have to.
So what do you find dumb about this? That you can wear long pants? Do you think shouldn't have to wear long pants at all?
I think it is. No, I'm totally fine with it. I just think it's like a myth.
Why is it here?
Listen, because I just wanted people to know.
This episode is called Gymnastics Dumbest Rules, and now you're just throwing in things that you agree with.
Okay, fine. I should have put this in the Mythbusters, but I didn't. So just calm down, Spencer. Okay. All right. Bragging that you already knew this rule. I knew this too, but I always forget it. Okay, on Pommel Horse.
Yeah.
Ready? A gymnast may not receive credit.
All right.
For an element or group requirement on a dismount or scissor element for a stoppage. Okay, so they stop in the middle, like whatever, they fall off. But on a floor, you can do something like a double front or a double layout, land straight on your butt, and still get credit for the element as long as your feet touch first. So how is it fair that you can perform an element but fall on floor and other apparatus, but on Pommel Horse, you can do a skill unsuccessfully and not get any credit? This is another thing that makes Pommel Horse one of the hardest, most ridiculous, and why we should just skip to finals. There should be no prelims. You should just be invited for that, and no one else should do it, because it's that hard and that special.
It does seem harder to get your intended D score on Pommel Horse than any other event.
Yes.
And this would be,
one of the reasons.
This would be it. That's it. There you go.
Not having just a 0.5 deduction for a step or a hop on.
Ooh, I would love more deductions for hops.
Yes. It's only the 0.3, 0.1, or it's only 1/10 or 3/10. That's it. Whereas clearly, there are scenarios where you should be taking.
There are more than 2 types of stepping? Yeah.
Right.
I agree. There are more than 2 types of stepping.
What deductions would you have take for Purvis's Purvis on his? And if you could describe that for the people.
No, that's bonus points. When you fall that you fall onto the judges at their judges table, which is purvising. Or you could frontal purvising, especially.
you straddle the judge and land in his lap, / on his shoulders.
We should clarify frontal purvising, a forward element versus a backward purvising. No, that's bonus points. That's a plus 0.5.
Yeah.
You get the fall. Okay. You get the fall back if you purvis a judge.
What about when Becky Downey rolled off the end of the podium? So fell, but she rolled and she landed on her feet, just on the actual cement ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is...
That's not a fall, because you ended standing.
So I want to know what you think of this new rule, which this is for men. I like where this is going theoretically, but it's still ridiculous. So the new rule is, in order to avoid a deduction, your feet have to be 10 centimeters apart or less. 10 centimeters apart. Yeah, 10
That's
centimeters.
Not very much.
10 centimeters is basically
I'm doing that with my feet right now. I was like, this 10 centimeters? That's not enough.
10 centimeters is like, your thighs are touching? Okay. Then you're close to 10 centimeters. I tried this.
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of men's gymnasts, they probably can't.
Right.
If I'm pointing my toes.
How do you do floor or vault? And even for anyone, like this, the thing is, like, I tried this and I was like, okay, let me see how far 10 centimeters is. And now let me see where my shoulder width apart is, which is the most basic safety landing of a squat, shoulder width apart. Further than that might be necessary in case of jumping off a second-story balcony, which is what it's like to do a dismount in gymnastics. So I can't even get my feet shoulder width apart is almost 30 centimeters apart. 10 centimeters, is it closer to being biomechanically safe than smash your ankle bones together? Yes! Is it the right distance to be safe? No! Not even close. And 10 centimeters, that's so subjective. It should be a ratio based on your body, starting at your shoulders and then going down. 10 centimeters, you kidding me? And gymnast shoulders, they're like, bat wing length. They're gigantic. I'm very opposed to this. Okay. Mm-hmm. We agree. And just for reference, I'm almost 5'7". First thing in the morning, I'm 5'7", just FYI. Later in the day, not so much.
What are you at night?
5'6.5".
Oh, okay.
Ish. Okay. Also, I want to talk about this because this is different in men's gymnastics, and this is one place where besides having to do two extra whole events, the men are more screwed than the women. So you're supposed to have to get into vault finals. To get into vault finals, you have to do 2 different vault families, allegedly. Right? But there's Yurchenko discrimination. And thank you to Psych again for pointing these out to me. So, for example, to get into finals, I could do a Suk double pike, and a Suk double full. Those are my two families. How are they two families? Apparently coming off the back of the vault. But you can't do a Yurchenko double pike and a Yurchenko double full. Why?
I am flabbergasted by this news.
Yurchenko discrimination. This isn't anything new. I'm just Psycho's pointing out. And the women can do this, right?
The women still is like the 5 different families.
Right. Why do you think there is this Yurchenko, even if you do like a Yurchenko, if you do like a Podkopayeva? Is that a Podkopayeva? No. Who's Yurchenko half on entry?
Podkopayeva has a
yeah.
Yurchenko half on.
Yeah.
You were going where you wanted to go.
Yeah, thank you.
You were following the map there.
Yeah, even if you half turn on, that's also not allowed. Why do you think they did this? Why do they hate men who can do Yurchenkos really well?
Sexism.
Yes, that's
get
the right
rid of any skill that's named after a woman.
The other thing that's interesting that they just that they have in Mag is you're on high bar. You know, we talk about the whole finishing and handstand requirements on bars, right? Which I think is dumb because it's a swinging event. It's not a holding things event. So to avoid a deduction for pirouetting on high bar, you have to be within, ready for it? 15 degrees of handstand to avoid an angle deduction on your pirouettes. 15 degrees. That's basically vertical.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not basically vertical.
If your shoulders aren't messed up enough from gymnastics, we're going to make you pirouette. Who has actually finished pirouetting skills in vertical?
Plenty of NCAA gymnasts finish pirouetting skills on top of the bar because they have to.
Right. And I would
I'm not saying they're doing Rybalkos.
Right. Rybalko is extremely hard to finish, even that close to handstand.
So just don't do them.
I would say the Chinese women's team from any era can mostly do this. Nastia's Bai was into this realm from what my memory shows me of her doing it because it's so beautiful. Adult males who have done a pirouetting skill into handstand, that only when it's a half pirouette and it's shooting out of some kind of stalter. So they're just using momentum and not their actual shoulders. So,
I don't know.
Gymnastics, everybody. There's still way less rules for them.
I'm fine with that one.
You're like, angles. It's the best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah. Handstand.
Yeah, I feel like no one's ever going to do a Rybalko again. Or everyone's just like, no one's going to get not the angle touch. We're all going to do it. I love a Rybalko. It's like the one thing I like. Spencer, you there are some conventions in gymnastics as a non-gymnast that you see as you're very uncomfortable with them. And I want you to get that off your chest.
Yeah. One in particular, which is, I think we've talked about this a lot on Behind the Scenes, but never a lot on the show, which is after the meet, everyone straddling each other's butts on the floor. When they sit in a line. Why? And also don't. Stop it and why. And
by straddling each other's butts, you mean sitting in a line in straddle so that the person in front of you is sitting between your legs.
Yes. Or as I said it, straddling each other's butts. Which is what you're doing. And why? There's no reason for this to happen.
I have to say, it was extremely disappointing this year to see. I think the new UCLA coaches are doing a great job, but the fact that UCLA has reverted to sitting like children in straddle on the floor as a team is so disappointing. It was like the one classy thing that they did. I don't mind little kids doing this, but grown women doing this, I find really icky. I find it just, you're already wearing those bows in your hair.
It's such a childish thing.
It's infantilizing. Yes, you might as well suck your thumb while you're out there. That's how ew, I find it.
Yes. It's really weird. And there are a lot of things that people within gymnastics just have always done, and so you don't think about it, and you need people who have not seen this to come in and be like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is really weird and gross. And if you're like, why isn't gymnastics more popular? Well, you do a lot of weird shit. So that's some of it.
I feel like I went to Pantheon in Sacramento, and I remember my dad hated this gym because he felt like they were adulting us too much. Like, we wore tights instead of warm-ups, and we wore like auburn colors instead of like our leotards were all one color. Like, he was like, ew, this is gross. It's too much like adults. But I feel like because of that experience, I have always felt like the childish things that are part of gymnastics, I couldn't stand. Like, I just always was like, this is an art, and we are elevating an art form. And so the only thing that I will say that we did, which I still see today, and they have much better cheers than we had back in the day, much more creative, is we would do like clap, clap, good job, so-and-so, and do a little cheer like that. But now there's much more elaborate, sparkly, drop into the splits, Beyonce style cheers. And that stuff, I also like as little kids. I don't see them doing that in college, but it is the equivalent level of kid cheers to sit in your straddles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I go?
Yes.
You have something?
You may. No, go.
Lining up by height. Why?
Military.
Why?
The only reason lining up by height matters, if you're in a line, it's totally stupid. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous to line up by height, right? If you are lining up by height and then you split the line into two, so you can actually, the more people are directly in front of the person speaking to you, like a coach, then that makes sense. Because you don't want someone to block someone else's view. So you have smaller people in the front, taller people in the back. I don't understand.
Do we do that?
No, they never do that. And that's the thing. I'm like, there's 50 gymnasts standing in a line. That doesn't make any sense. You should all split. You should be in multiple lines so that everyone can be right in front of the coach and actually hear what they're saying. So they turn their head. You're at the 50th gymnast at the end of the line because you're the tallest or the smallest. You can't see. Rows of lines. Rows. Oh. Mm-hmm. Every time I see a lineup at national team camp, I want to yell at everybody. Does someone count off by tens and then split the line, and the next line stands in back of the front line. And then 10 after that, stand in back of that. So you have rows. Oh, and of course, sports ball here is like, a fact checker is like, oh, you just take a knee. Which you can do that too. But you have to stand up and be all presented and stand like Morgan Hurd. Like you're at a ballet audition.
Which brings me to another thing. This damn broken wrist standing and marching. This is not anything. This is not elegant. This does not mean you're artistry and other people are unartistry. This does not mean you are good at a dancer. It is nothing. I don't think we see it as much anymore.
No,
but
thank God.
I mean, like, those old clips of, like, the Alabama team goose stepping into the arena with, like, their broken wrists. Horrible.
Okay, you know what it reminds me of? This marching. I mean, you're all taught that when you're little, but when you're a grown-up, don't do that nonsense anymore. Unless you're going to be.
But why are you taught that when you're little?
Because you're just taught, you're not taught this nonsense with your wrists. I mean, it's a terrible gym with no artistry, if that's what they taught you. That's just the facts. Like, they don't know what they're doing. Because wrists are the first thing you learn, proper wrists. But the thing is, like, I feel like there's, at some point, it just became so exaggerated to try to impress Marta that it became like that. Or whatever. Like, now, there's just some weird, like, it's the most extreme that happened. But this is the thing about this. Okay, but you know what it reminds me of? So this is when the gymnasts all march in a row, and you march so close to each other that you have to be on the same foot, which is, that's fine. But people exaggerate. They flex their wrist so far that it looks ridiculous. Broken wrist. It reminds me of when you hold like a puppy above water, but it's not actually in the water, and then it starts paddling its legs slowly in the air without touching the water because it feels like it's about to have to doggy paddle. Like, that's what it reminds me of. Oh, yeah. All right. Any other conventions that bother you?
No, but we did have a submission that running for vault is the style of running for vault is unacceptable and unathletic.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I was just talking to Ashley Miles
Vaults
about
are
this.
scary. The vaults are hard.
Yes. I was just talking to Ashley Miles about this because she had a run that was very distinctive in that, like, she basically didn't pick her knees up at all. So I asked her about that. But this is the thing. You are not the best vaulters, I find, can run like a sprinter and still vault. But vault is a matter of counting your steps and being precise every single time to round off or hit the board perfectly. And running like a sprinter and hitting the board perfectly are not always, they are sometimes incongruous. They shouldn't be. The best vaulters can do it, but it's not always easy to do. You mean like running like you have like snap-on robot arms while your legs churn away like a duck underwater? Is that what you're referring to?
We're in puppies. We're on ducks. A lot of water for gymnastics. An unexpectedly large amount of water.
It's summer. I'm ready for the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say, but I mean, then you look at Michaela Maroney and like sprints like a sprinter and could round off perfectly at the right time. So, yeah.
Yeah, everyone should be more like Michaela Maroney. Vault
obviously, in every way. What is, Spencer, the most ignored actual rule of all time in gymnastics?
Ooh. Well, I mean, we've covered coaches coaching, because I would say that is, coaches aren't allowed to coach during routines is probably the most ignored by everyone. But I would say second place is the prohibition that they have to announce every time at NCAA Nationals during warm-ups that you are not allowed to engage in group dances. At NCAA Nationals, that's all there is group dances. That's what the whole sport is.
Also, I'm just like, do you want to make a highlight reel of the sport and how fun it is or not? Because group dances, and also the prohibition on group dances, you know how Florida has gotten around that, which I love? They basically do like a runway walk with two gymnasts each doing a dance together instead of the whole team at the same time. They have like their own little drag runway walk kind of thing, voguing scenario, which I love that they're like, oh, we'll get around this rule. Wait, I want to mention one thing about the running, just to preempt any letters if you've already started. I know that hurdlers and the people who do the track run the perfect amount of steps and then they do the hurdle. I know the hurdles are high and it's scary, but the worst thing that's going to happen to you, unless you're really uncoordinated, the worst thing that's going to happen in the hurdles is you're going to hit the hurdle and you're going to land and like skin your skin off. You're not going to die. So, I mean, come on, it's not the
someone
same.
Who has like gone face first and fractured their skull on the track is going to write in and be like, Jessica.
I said if you're really uncoordinated. I already covered that person. Which would be me. That would for sure. You know how high those things are? But it's not as scary as vaulting. Vaulting's way, way more dangerous. Okay, we have a couple letters that I want to get to from you guys. So, we have dumb rule submissions from our listeners, which are, you guys, you're beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's begin. Elevated vault, made up rule.
Meredith says, I went to a gym growing up where our only full vault runway required you to go up a few stairs to a platform attached to a wall where the runway was. I included some old photos where the runway platform and vault are in the background to help better visualize how elevated it was, and we're showing those now. And yes, the huge American flag mural was painted onto the cinder blocks to complete the 90s look. In hindsight, this was sort of like today's podium vaults that are 3 to 4 feet high, except ours was at the edge of the gym attached to the wall. One time as kids, we complained about the runway being kind of scary to run down because the elevation and because we had a coach tell us in response that it was designed that way since, quote, it was a deduction to have your foot step fully off the vault runway during your vault run. Hence, there was no need to have more than a few feet of space surrounding the runway area. I remember being so focused on my run, because if you tripped and fell more than 2 feet to the left side of our vault runway, you would fall 4 feet to the floor below. It was alligator pit level. Or, alternatively, if you fell to the right, you would hit a nice cinder block wall. Lovely, of course. All the other events had tons of space around them in case you, I don't know, happened to fall. For the longest time, I would watch gymnasts' vault runs on TV and check to make sure they didn't step off the runway map. When Jade tripped in the vault final of Paris, all I could think of was, well, just like me, should learn not to fall to the side of the vault runway when you stumble.
I literally would never, it's like a new fear is unlocked. Falling off the runway while I never worried about falling while I was running. Everything else, yes. Not while I was running. Like the one thing that most people can just do, run. Wow. That is a new. I do remember competing at places where like they would cover the pit with like some really wiggly floor. And so you would land and literally be like landing on a trampoline. And you had to like bend your knees and like absorb the impact. And it was possible. Like everyone just got like massive deductions on their landings. And I was like, this is scarier than the vault landing on this jello piece of wood. Anywho. Okay, that's a fantastic letter. Okay. Coach demanded hiked up Leos in training. Oh this still goes on.
Nikki says, you guys are currently my best friends as I spend more time with the two of you than any adult human, so thank you for that. Oh, hey, Nikki.
We love you.
My coach told us that we had to have the front of our leotards hiked up, like close to our hip bones, in training. We were never allowed to wear shorts or anything like that, which was such a constant issue because puberty without laser hair removal is a thing. But she told us that the judges required that at competitions and that we needed to get used to it in the gym. Cool. Also, for the longest time, she made us wear this little elastic belt thing. They were supposed to be to remind us to suck our tummies in, but I was not into it and they were required. Then they just sewed those right into our competition leotards. Fun. We were also made to wear rubber bands around our wrists so that if we fell off the beam, our coach would make us snap ourselves with it. Like, I'm sorry, do you think I like falling off the beam? Is the problem really that it's not aversive enough for me? My God, that's it for now. Bye, besties.
Wow.
What?
Wow, the snapping is a little much. I mean, it wasn't like punch yourself in the face every time you fall.
Basically.
Wow. This pull your leotard up. I mean, there's college coaches right now who literally they walk up to the gymnast and yank the gymnast adult women's leotards up. So
maybe that's why they have them line up in height order. So they can like measure how high they're trying to hike the leotard up.
That plastic belt thing used to be really a thing. Like I would go into a lot of gyms and see, and everyone like decorate them different, that piece of elastic. But I've looked like even Mary Lou Retton had that elastic thing sewn in, like the sewn in underwear elastic thing in her, because we were just doing the 1984 podcast. It's just so, also, the laser hair. I mean, that is the thing. There's gonna be times. You gotta, I mean, I have some stories to tell about laser hair removal when we get in puberty and gymnastics.
Oh, I can't wait.
Behind the scenes. It's going to be great. Okay. Leotard rules, transition cap on uneven bars is stupid.
Yes. Jazzy has written in to agree with me that capping the transitions on bars is dumb. As has George, but George also did describe that value cap as the second worst kind of transphobia. Transitions,
George,
which I thought was very good.
Mm-hmm. And Pride Month,
Ollie would approve. Ollie would have approved of that as
Ollie
well.
Hogbin would love this. Okay,
but
George
also says non-rebounding connection value on beam. Oh, George, we get
George,
each other. I get not having connection value for non-rebounding acro connections, but if that's the case, why do non-rebounding dance and mixed connections get connection value? A front aerial to Rolfova gets no connection value, but if you stick a split jump between them, you get 0.2 CV and 0.1 series bonus. What? dance passage composition requirement on floor. It's stupid and the worst. It doesn't add anything to the routines and makes them all look generic. Every other composition requirement helps demonstrate variety and mastery of the apparatus, while the dance passage composition requirement demonstrates nothing.
George, yes. What we need is to have
choreography.
Yeah, and also to have an open forum where essentially the Women's Technical Committee has to listen to these complaints and from the fans with solutions. You guys have to make solutions too, because I feel like the technical committee,
most of the solutions are just don't
put a rule.
The solution is take a Sharpie and just put it through everything you've ever done.
Because there are some really interesting scenarios that are behind these rules. Like, who would have thought that people were stealing the freaking spring so much in the springboard at meets that they had to make a rule that you just can't take them out. So if they knew you're touching the thing, you're about to steal it. Like, that never occurred to me.
Maybe people were stealing artistry so much they had to make a dance passage requirement on the floor.
There wasn't any left for anybody else.
They ran out.
Oh,
the Soviets took it all.
We have so much more to discuss on Behind the Scenes this week. Noon Pacific on Friday, regular schedule. So much to discuss. And thank you guys so much for all of your letters. Thank you for all your contributions on the forum and sending us feedback from cast@gmail.com. And we can't wait to talk to you guys on Behind the Scenes. Remember to make sure that your Club Gym Nerd membership is in all account, up to date, and in order. And we've really enjoyed the notes that you guys have been making when you're re-upping or making sure your memberships are still good. Oh, they're very entertaining. So thank you so much for your support. We couldn't do this without you guys. And we'll see you on Friday for Behind the Scenes. And feel free to send in more rules that are driving you nuts, because I know this is going to spark some stories. And I want to hear so many more stories about crazy things that your coaches have told you. JimCassick@gmail.com or on the forum. So for the last week of June, please remember to take off on gay, split on rights. We'll see you on Friday for Behind the Scenes at noon Pacific or on your favorite podcast player. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on Friday. This show is created, executive produced, edited, audio engineered, and published by me, Jessica O'Byrne.
Managing editor in charge of show notes, podcast content, and wrangling over enthusiasm is Spencer Barnes.
Our news editor is Uncle Tim of gymnastics-history.com.
And customer service, IT, Gymternet news, and additional production services are provided by Steve Cooper, aka Fact Check.